Oli Sykes is the frontman of one of the biggest rock bands in the world, Bring Me the Horizon. Since the band's formation in 2004, Oli has been at the forefront of the group's evolution from deathcore to a more genre-blending sound that mixes metalcore, electronic influences and pop music. His raw, powerful vocals and deeply personal lyrics have resonated with millions of fans worldwide, while his bold stage presence has made him a standout in the modern rock scene. A Brit Award winner with 4 top 10 albums under his belt, Oli has been a voice for many who have found solace in music, and now he's opening up about the tracks that shaped his own life and career. From the anthems that inspired him as a teen to the songs that helped him through personal struggles, Oli will be sharing stories behind the music that has left a lasting impact on him and offering a rare glimpse into the personal soundtrack of one of modern rock's most influential figures. This is Songs That Save Me with Oli Sykes. Let's just go right back to the very beginning and pick a piece of music that kicked things off for you, that you loved first off, that maybe got you into music.
One I picked was Freestyler, Bomfunk MC.
Dude, when I saw this come in, I was so gassed. Me and my mum would put this on without fail in the car on the way to school, first tune, hype up the morning. So good.
So sick. I mean, I thought I need to be honest, and also like I could start where I properly got into music, which were like rock music with like Linkin Park and Glassjaw, but I feel like everyone's heard that from me a million times. Yeah. That was when I got into music as like I was obsessed with music, but trying to think as far back as like, what did I own on like cassette or whatever, and the earliest I can think of is Bomfunk MC. Yeah. And I remember, I think we went camping one weekend and I just got it from like Asda or something. And I was sat in the front of the camper van, just listening to the first side, which was just the song, and then flipped it over and there were a remix of it, listened to that, flipped it back, and I must have just sat in this car on my own, just while everyone were out walking or something, just listening to the song on repeat.
This tune is gagging for like a modern day remix of this, isn't it? Gagging.
We actually stole the synth. We were writing something recently. We stole the synth line. It's not out yet, but it sounded pretty sick. Actually,
I was going to see the light of day.
Yeah, if we can get it clear.
Yeah, true. Well, look, we wait with bated breath to see Bring Me the Horizon using Bomfunk MC and Freestylers. Let's run it.
Straight from the top of a dome as the rock microphone. Straight from the top of a dome as the rock microphone.
Oli, you released Next Gen kind of out of nowhere in the end. There's a lot of like kind of hype and build up and delays and all that kind of stuff, and in the end you just decided to drop it, give it to the world, probably I guess that so you could just get it out there and move on.
Yeah, it's obviously, we started that record maybe 2021, like Die For You maybe came out then, I'm not sure, but the actual journey of that record has been a long one, way longer than we thought it was, and there's been some highs and lows, and it was a really difficult album to make in terms of like the brief we gave ourselves, like kind of paying homage to like post-hardcore and emo and all this stuff, like after we got into like new metal and everything, it was like, okay, we're into the more extreme stuff, the more weird stuff, the more like niche stuff. And then obviously we had some member, changes and stuff like that, and that kind of made me rip everything up and start again to some extent. So it just took a long time, and obviously at one point we'd said like this album's coming out in September because we genuinely thought we'll have it finished for like, whenever. And then everything went to shit, and kind of we realised that wasn't going to happen. So we didn't want to do that again. We were like, okay, it's going to come next. So we just said summer. And then we finished it maybe February this year, I think. And so the label were like, okay, so now we want like 5 months or whatever. It's going to come out in September. And now we're a bit like, September? That's a long time. We said it would come out September the year before. It just felt so bad. It just felt like I just had this feeling in my stomach, and we were in Australia, and I think I just text my manager and went, I don't feel good about this. Can we just release this record?
It was probably a blessing in disguise, because actually I've got to live with this record for a while now and really feel your bravery on it. That's what I take from it anyway. And I'm not talking about the sound of the record. I'm just talking about you and what you put down in the words and everything on it. It feels so brave, you on this record.
Appreciate it.
Did it take that?
A little bit. We kind of got to a place of like this big polished stadium-y rock band, and it sounds weird, but there's things on this record that I wouldn't have sound right on Like That's a Spirit, for instance, you know, like My Ego Is Not My Ego. I just could not imagine that on a song like Throne. It's just, and I think we just got to a place sonically where I could be more vulnerable and just say things as they are. You know, there's a lot of heavy themes on the record and stuff, and it almost took having some of the music feel different. It's almost like you watch Game of Thrones, you expect certain dialogue and certain phrases, and if someone went against that, you'd be like, I don't feel right for this period or this vibe. And for me, the songs are very much like that. Also getting to a point where it's like, it's so important to, like, I shouldn't be embarrassed about the fact that sometimes I wake up and I feel ugly, I feel horrible, I feel like nobody, like sometimes it doesn't need like a riddle. Sometimes it is just like, my dog just died. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and I don't know what it is. I guess, obviously, I think as a band we've gone from a really crap band to a good band over like 20 years, and it's not been like we didn't release our best album first. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's we've just constantly been working on our craft and getting to a point where we feel like we can pull these things off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can certainly pull them off now. You're very much in that phase of life where you're the biggest band out there right now. Because you're going all over the world and you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know? Whether you necessarily feel like it or not, you are. You are. Oli, let's pick another song tonight and maybe tell us why.
One of the questions you gave me were artists I've seen live that I liked. Picked Serpent with Feet.
Nice.
A song called Four Ethers.
I'm going to be interested to hear why you love that so much.
Your name is about as easy to remember as the Four Ethers. And who the hell knows the Four Ethers? Oh. Your pain is about as easy to feel as the Four Ethers. And who can do without the Four Ethers?
An interesting choice. Why, Oli?
It's just sick, isn't it? It's proper good. And I was trying to think of someone I've seen live in recent memory, because actually my worst nightmare is going to a gig. So
worst nightmare?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just hate them.
Just what? The loads of people there?
The anxiety. Yeah. I think people, crowds, and all this stuff. And when people, who would you love to see live? I'm just like, there's not many people I'd leave my house for to go and see.
Wow, Serpent with Feet getting high praise then.
Yeah, and then we were on tour. The guy was doing photos for us and stuff at the time. Like, I'm going to go see this artist tonight, Serpent with Feet. And I was like, are you kidding? I've got to come. And that's a gig I actually want to see. Do you know what I mean? I'm excited about that. So I went and it were proper good.
I wanted to just talk like the kind of music in 2024 thing with you. And I wonder if you've been across Charlie's Brat moment this year at all.
Oh yeah. You had to be living under a rock to miss that. Yeah, but
I mean, what's your kind of take on it? First off,
I think it's the culmination of like loads of hard work that's finally paid off, and it's someone that's stuck to their guns for the entire time. I've been saying since I've been watching that, seeing like something big is going to come out of that world. There's something so special about the way it's approached, that music, the way it's handled. It's not about the production, it's about like the feeling and emotion, and it's just a vibe. I feel like in our own little way we've done the same thing, where it's like we've been experimenting our whole career just trying to find that balance of like what makes us special, what we do different to everyone else, and what could appeal to the masses and stuff. Not so cynical, and I think that record is just her hitting the nail on the head, not going too far one way, not going like, okay, we're going to have like a Lady Gaga tune and we're going to do this. It's not making little compromises. It's like she just found that formula.
Two British artists who have believed in their creative ambitions, stuck to their guns and become global successes. That needs to be celebrated way more, because the US runs the show these days.
Yeah.
They really, really do. And having you guys and Charlie and do it in your own way, so sick.
Yeah, and then I think kids are just like the mindset of what a pop star should be. Like it, you know, we've seen like some artists come out this year and flop because it's clear what they're doing is not genuine to who they are. That is what the future of pop's going to look like. People actually like going, whoa, it can be so much more than just like a number one single. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think Bring Me the Horizon could ever get to a stage where they're considered a pop band?
I think if you asked a lot of rock listeners, we'd already say we are, but
True. But I think their perception is warped by the music that they like. I'm talking about in a genuine global conversation. Is there a point where Bring Me the Horizon could ever be considered that, do you think?
I don't think so. No. I think we're just... The thing I love about our band the most is like we get to play arenas and stuff, but I can still walk down the street and no one has a clue who I am.
Yeah, that's
you know what
good.
I mean? Like, and you know, people still like anyone that's outside of our bubble, like, oh, you still doing music then? I'm like, yeah. Like, how's it going? You know what I mean? Like, it's like they have no idea. Do you know what I mean? They're like, and I never say, oh, do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh yeah, we're playing to 40,000 people tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, shove it.
yeah, it's going all right. We're getting by. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I would never want that to change. I could not. There's some countries we go to where it feels like we're Justin Bieber or something. Do you know what I mean? Like we go to Indonesia and everyone knows, and it's so bad. It's horrible. It makes you feel a lot for
Like
these
you want to
people.
run away.
It's just horrible. Imagine not being able to go to the shop or do all like, unless we had some surprise hit on TikTok and it made everyone know who we are. Like, you know, I can't see it happening.
I've got to ask, but you didn't get the Brat remix album call up at all, did you?
Not yet. Waiting on that, Charlie.
Yeah. I would love to see that happen. Oh my God. Would you tap up Charlie and for your side?
We did actually.
Really?
Yeah, we did for RIP. But it was in the midst of that about to drop. So yeah.
Was she keen?
No. But we've chatted before, like,
Yeah.
you know, we know each other and stuff, and you know,
Maybe one day.
one day maybe.
Should we get another song, Ollie?
Yeah, sure.
Tell us what you want to pick.
A song that got me through a tough time is Tender by Blur.
Tender is the night, lying by your side. Tender is the touch with someone that you love too much.
I think it was just the main line there. Come on, come on, come on, get through it.
It's like a chant, isn't it?
That's all I remember of it, because actually since that tough time I've not really listened. It's actually quite painful to listen to now.
Come on, come on, come on, get through it. Come on, come on, come on.
It were just before I went to rehab, and it was just like maybe like a week before like I'd stopped using. So I was like in obviously the worst place I've ever been. Like the reality of everything was, you know, I'd been on drugs pretty much every day for like a long time. So the come down mixed with the realization what was going on and realizing all my friends hated me, my band, everyone was worried sick of me, everyone, you know, it felt like the end of the world. And I remember at the same time we'd gone to the Lake District to try and write some music, and I was just not there. Do you know what I mean? And I was just in like agonizing pain. So, and I just remember having this song on, and I think I don't even know what the song's about. I just remember that line, and that for some reason just putting that on repeat was just the only thing just pulling me through each day for like a week. And it would just I don't know, it would just we're only thinking.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to have a genuine, heartfelt connection with a piece of music. If it does the job, it does the job.
Yeah, it got me through it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, do you think you've ever taken the time to really celebrate the great success that you guys have had with Bring Me the Horizon? And I don't mean like clinking a champagne glass after a great gig. I'm talking about like genuinely sitting down and considering what you've managed to do.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that sucks the most about success and being a human, or at least for me, and is that it's like it's hard to appreciate things unless like you can say what you just said and you can sit there and go, isn't it amazing? But when you're in it, it's just like it's like this never end. You think like, okay, if we do this, we've reached the top of the mountain, but you get there and you're just looking for the next thing. Like we did a song on the last record with Daryl Plummo from Glassjaw, which was the band that got me into making music. You know, I was obsessed. Like Glassjaw were the band what I saw and realised, oh, could I do this? You know what I mean? And when he were on record, I showed my parents. My mum were like, "Do you realise how mental this is?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "But do you?" Because she went, "You remember when Glassjaw came over with They were coming over with another band, and they cancelled because he has Crohn's disease. And they cancelled last day before she went, you didn't come out your room for a week. You cried every day, all day. You wrote him a song. And she found a song that was called Get Well Soon. You wrote a song for him. And I was like, did I? And she was like, yeah, like you was like despondent, you know what I mean? You were gone. And it's like, I was like, I wish I could feel that more. Like imagine telling, my 14-year-old self, one day, not only going to play a song with me, he's going to be on one of your songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
would have freaked.
I wouldn't even understand it. I'd probably just spat on myself and get lost. You know what I mean? Like, I texted him after we did it all. I didn't want to freak you out or be like proper fanboy, but you need to know that like this is a massive thing for me. So obviously you have to like consciously sit down and almost like meditate on it.
Yeah.
But you can't get what you should get from it.
I think because you're making it, because you're in the middle of it, because you are the one who is relied upon to create all the enjoyment and excitement and thrilling moments, whether that be live or visually or, listening in your headphones on the way to school.
Yeah.
You are the person that whoever's listening and consuming it is relying on. So you've got to make sure that you got to get it nailed down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Let's go for another one, Ollie. What do you want to pick?
David Bowie, Blackstar.
I'm a black star, way off my money, I've got game. I see right so wide, so open-hearted to pain. I want equals in my daydreams, diamonds in my eyes. I'm a black star.
Talk to us a little bit about that then. What was it about Blackstar that changed the game for you?
I think what struck me about it was the fact that the realisation that he made this knowing he was going to die.
Yeah.
And I just think how many artists have actually bowed out and gone out in a classy way. I probably could count it on two hands, you know what I mean? Most artists fizzle out, have some tragic ending or do something cringe or do some, get cancelled or whatever it is. There's not many that go out in a really cool way, and how, like, the fact that he knew he was going to die and he went into the studio and made like this insane, dark, different, at his age as well and everything. Like, how the hell, even like, it's harder every year you get older. I think it's you have to squeeze harder to get that creativity out of you. It's just, as you get past 27, your brain physically starts rotting, and it's harder, just like everything else in life gets harder.
I mean, he really went out in the most David Bowie way possible, didn't he?
Could you go out in a classier way, just going, I'm writing this record with all these mental talented jazz artists and this super dark thing, talking about exactly what's going to happen to him. He dies and it comes out at the same time. See you later.
That's true love for the art at the end of the day. A huge part of this is attention, and kind of craving the attention.
And not even getting, the thing is, he knew, did all that knowing he's not even going to get any recognition for it because he's not going to be there to feel it. And that's why it changed the way I approach music. I was like, that's what I want. That's not what, in 10 years or 20 years when I'm looking back on my music, I don't want to go, I had a one-hit wonder. I want to put my music on and go and listen to it and go, this is we're best band in the world. This is the sickest thing ever.
You are the best band in the world. It's what we're asking for. Yeah, David was totally one of a kind, wasn't he? I mean, do you ever, you picked quite a range. I'm just looking at the track list of what we've had so far. You've picked such a range of genres and styles. I mean, do you ever, or have you ever felt like you had to kind of keep your music taste hidden because of the kind of band you're in?
No, not really. There's rarely that many times that, I have to like talk about what I listen to and stuff. And it is very schizophrenic, my kind of listening habits. Do you know what I mean? I don't have a favourite band. I don't have a favourite artist. I have favourite songs, but they change. And
don't change. That's the best way to be, I think. Definitely. What do you want to go for next?
Song that you put on a party if you handed the aux. Grimes, Kill v Maim, Little Jimmy Urine remix.
This is mental, this tune. Underrated remix, by the way, not spoken about enough, goes so hard.
For me, for some reason, 2016 is like the year of like where everything was good for the last time. Okay. Like in terms of like partying, carefree, and just like I was going back on my Spotify end of years and all that stuff. And I could really see in 2016, like, I had a real passion for like finding new artists, and there's so much stuff that I still listen to today from that. Yeah, and I think I've dropped off a bit since that in terms of like actively searching for new artists.
Do you just think that you're distracted with what you're doing at Bring Me?
Yeah, maybe. But there was just like a creative period there where, you know, you had all these artists doing all these different things, and I feel like we're lacking those kind of characters right now in music. Do you know what I mean? And I think Grimes is like one of them. She's just sick. Do you know what I mean? She's like hung out with her as well, and she's just like exactly as she comes across. Like she's like the queen of oversharing. She's just a queen of like when all that stuff at Coachella happened.
I hated the aftermath of
yeah, I would just like that is her to a T. She's just going to be so honest about it. She's like, I am literally fucking up now. I'm sorry. Now I thought it was cool, and it's all a matter of perspective. Do you know what I mean? She is just who she is, and I think she's just like, I don't know. She's just one of the sickest artists of our generation.
It must be one of the most difficult things being an artist, knowing that the very slight mistake that you make, or you know, big one like Grimes did at Coachella, and you know, the wolves are waiting to tear you apart.
That is you sign up for that as being an artist, and you've got to build that thick skin and just go, you know what? Not that they don't mean it, but it's tomorrow's fish and chip paper. Do you
ever get to a place where you just don't even think about it? Is that even possible?
I think not having social media or not using it is a massive part of it, and staying out of that. Unless you're cool with like that kind of, you know, atmosphere. You know what I mean? I always say if Instagram were a pub, you would not go into that pub, would you? If all the people in that pub were talking the way they talk on Instagram, you would not go there. So why are we going on there anyway?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So, and I think for me, I'm just like, I'm just out. You know what I mean?
Oli, thanks so much for hanging out today and just being so real and honest and lively and just brilliant, as you always are.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, dude. Oli, we've got one more from you. What do you want to go for? Close it out for us.
A song I wish I'd wrote, Shame by PJ Harvey.
It's a beauty. Thanks, Oli.
Nice one.
If you pass me by, it's such a shame, shame.